from ensuring food security to environmental challenges. Our next panel is called Amazon Unearthed, Solutions for Environmental Preservation. And we are going to hear about the complex environmental challenges facing the Amazon rainforest right now. We're going to talk about how innovative, market-driven, nature-based solutions hold the key to raising awareness and to safeguarding one of the world's most critical ecosystems. Please welcome to the stage Telma Ortiz. She's Associate Manager of External Relations and Strategy here at Concordia, and also Victor Salviati, Director of Institutional Development and Innovation at the Foundation for Amazon Sustainability. Please welcome our panel.
Good afternoon. The air we need to breathe, the air that keeps us alive, we take it for granted, is generated mainly in the oceans, also in the rainforest. Here in the past 2 days, we listened to politicians, environmental activists, talking about the climate change, about the pollution in the air, in the water. And here in Concordia, we are very aware about the importance of the rainforest, called the lungs of the planet. That's why we, by the way, created a whole initiative, the Amazon initiative, that by the way, we are having a big presentation in the other states in a minute. I strongly recommend, don't miss it. So I would like to delve into the complex environmental challenges they face in Amazon rainforest. I would like to discover innovative, market-driven, nature-based solutions that hold the key to raising awareness. Also explore how sustainable practices and collaborative effort can help protect the Amazon's biodiversity while fostering economic growth, creating a sustainable future that respects both nature and indigenous traditions. Concordia takes Amazon preservation very seriously. And of course, we want to give voice to the ones who knows better the context. I'm here with Victor Salviati, biologist from the Amazon Sustainable Foundation, Fundação Amazônia Sustentável. Bem-vindo. Muito obrigada por estar aqui. Sadly, we can have with us today Toya Manchineri, because last minute cancellation, but I'm sure that the conversation with you, Victor, will be perfect and good enough. So first question, if right now I can give you all the power and all the resources to implement an action for the rainforest preservation, what would be?
So thank you, Telma, for the power. Good afternoon to you all. I see, in my experience, if I may summarize, the two challenges of the Amazon, not just the Brazilian Amazon, but I think the whole territory, the 8 countries of the Amazon, I would say inequality and illegal activities. So within the power invested by you on me, I would say I would tackle inequalities to providing these forest peoples, indigenous peoples, they have access to public policies, to education, energy, water, sanitation, so forth, looking to the 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and of course, tackle illegal activities, land grabbing, illegal mining, illegal logging, because these illegal activities, and you having had a very good experience on humanitarian causes, these illegal activities, they provide substance for violence. And this violence goes against what we believe, a living earth, a living Amazon, a prosperous Amazon.
This sadly is the inequality is maybe in the basis of every challenge in the world, but especially in what is our topic. So you know that here Concordia in this framework of promoting and creating all this convening and private-public partnerships. It's important for us to how the collaborative efforts between governments, NGOs, business, and local communities can ensure the long-term protection of the Amazon.
Yeah, this is a very good question, and this is a question we have been seeking for, I don't know, 15 or so years, not just here in the UN climate summits and a week, but also the Climate COP, Biodiversity COP, and other fora. In regards to the Foundation for Amazon Sustainability, the NGO that I represent here, we work very close with private sector and, of course, the government. We work with public lands within these communities, indigenous and non-indigenous communities, mostly in the Brazilian Amazon. And we have been supporting the prosperity of these communities, again, by providing public policies, bridging public policies. So this is the connection with governments, because we work in some areas that takes like 25, 30 days by boat from Manaus, where I live. So imagine you having breakfast, lunch, and dinner 30 days in a small boat. I have been there for 2 or 3 times. It's amazing. But imagine every time that you have to go there all your life. So it's a different timing. It's a different mindset. Secondly, we have the private sector, which is more agile and have a little bit more resources. So combining these 3 actors, NGOs, actually 4, NGOs, the civil society there, the movement local movement there at the territory, government, because they provide the public policies, and the private sector providing resources, you can have like a pilot. The thing is that, Telma, you know better than myself, that we don't need more pilot. We need transformation.
Okay, what pilot would be your ideal?
I mean, there is no ideal pilot because we need the transformation. So we have been, we used to have pilots for 15 years ago. Now we are, as we say, we are facing the tipping point of the Amazon. Yeah. We are facing more than 1.5 Celsius degrees. There in Brazil, there are massive hurricanes. We never haven't been seeing hurricanes in our lives there. So climate change is not a future, it's happening already.
So the sustainability is not a goal anymore. We don't need to sustain what is happening. We need to regenerate it. The Amazon.
I had a professor there in Brazil that says that sustainability is not a matter of ESG or labeling, it's a matter of surviving. We had transformed the planet in a not very smart way. They have this inertia, the climate inertia. So if we stop emitting GHG, for instance, now we are going to have like 50, 70 years its impact of the gases. So we have to transform radically. And in order to do so, we have to do what we have to do. So changing energy, change the concept of how to provide assistance to these people, listen to them. At FAS, we organized more than 1,000 workshops, local workshops, there the community, because I have to listen to them.
So you think the collaboration between private and publics and the local communities is working?
Yeah, it has been
work better.
Yeah, of course we can do better. It has been working within these 15 years. Foundation for Amazon Sustainability, we work with more than 800 communities. We're talking about 6,000 people in the Amazon, indigenous and non-indigenous, remote areas, and we're able to support they triple their income while slash deforestation by 40%. So it's doable. But we're talking about a territory of 14 or something million hectares. The Amazon has thousands of million hectares. So we have to get that and multiply by 100, 150. So private sector, governments, international cooperation, local communities, and NGOs, they are essential to do this transformation as fast as we can.
And this is Concordia all about. So talking about indigenous people, so indigenous communities have played a significant role in preserving the Amazon for centuries. So how can we better integrate and respect their traditional knowledge and practices into the conservation efforts?
In Brazilian Amazon, there is a data on that the indigenous territory represents something like 40% of the Amazon territory and represents less than 1% of deforestation. So they are actually the guardians of the forest. And when you say, you mentioned about the Amazon is the lung, and most important than the lungs, the Amazon is like the AC of the planet. So it breathes air and water. So that's why it's like a big water pump. That's why we need to protect that, because it provides water to agriculture, to our drinking water. In Brazil, hydroelectricity is very essential there. So we have to provide these indigenous peoples the tools to continue the effort for conservation. What do you mean tools? Like if we want to plant acai berry, very famous superfood, I love it. So how to provide these tools so they can plant and make commercialization of acai. At FAS, for instance, we have this slogan that is make the forest worth more standing than cut. Provide acai berry or better conditions to acai berry, they can get more money, add value to this acai. Pirarucu fish, an amazing fish, delicious one. How to add value on that to send to Europe market, US here, and then making the forest standing more standing than cut.
So it's complementary, the economic growth, the development of the internal economic for indigenous communities, and the preservation. Sometimes we found that we from other countries, we say no, please don't exploit these resources because it's going to really get in but in the future. But you're saying that economic growth for these communities and the preservation is possible.
Yes, and you give me an incredible opportunity to share with you the difference between preservation and conservation. Preservation is what you just said, do not touch. But it's very injustice to say to people there in the forest, here in New York, you guys in the Amazon, do not touch the forest while we have cars and TV or internet connection. So what we are pledging here is conserve the Amazon, conserve the forest, which is using wisely. And they have been doing that for 10, 12,000 years throughout the history there in the Amazon. So they know how to do it, but now times has changed. And now we have to provide the assistance together with them, listen to them, how they can do, we can do better.
First, we need to change the title of the panel for the next time.
Yeah.
No preservation, but conservation.
Conservation. There are some parts, some sites in the Amazon, Telma, that we need to preserve. Mostly, we can use wisely.
Yes. So how can we effectively raise awareness about the importance of the Amazon rainforest and its conservation on a global scale?
I would, again, with your power sent to me or share with me, I would go with 3 phases. The first one is to have the media covering not just the bad news, which is more engaged, but also the good news that comes from the Amazon. Not just the Amazon, but all the tropical forests, DRC, Southeast Asia, but most important, the people from the Amazon talking about the Amazon. We, as you mentioned, Toya was not able to join us here, but he is an indigenous leader from the coordination of Amazon indigenous territories. Big coordination, more than 500 ethnicities, peoples from the Amazon, indigenous peoples from the Amazon. The second thing is, once you have this information properly disseminated, how to convene with science. Every work that you have to do to tackle issues, complex issues, you have to be science-based. So how science can work with us to, again, transform the context. And last but not least, partnerships. Concordia, as you mentioned, it's a major example, platform of connecting people and purposes. So how can you make this times 100? And this is not like an ambitious out of the air. If you're not going to do anything within 10 years, we're not going to, your son, your daughter, I'm not going to see the Amazon as you saw. My son, my daughter is not going to see the Amazon as I knew. And this is tragic. We are going to lost, as again, my professor said, is like a library of biodiversity. We have a lot of things to do there. And mostly the indigenous territories, indigenous peoples.
So we really need to work for this next generation. We need to work to conserve the conservation of the forest, to keep all these many resources, from the earth to the water to this amazing superfood and all the resources that we can get from the Amazon in a proper way, without exploding, without just finishing for the next generation.
And hopefully, by 2 or 3 years, we are going to get back here and share how can we do it, how can we achieve this goal.
We will do it. It's really a pleasure to talk to you, and it's a pity that we cannot go on longer. But this is a promise that I give you now to you. We are going to meet here in a couple of years to talk about what happened and what. I hope that we are going to talk about how we improve all these actions.
How we succeed.
Exactly. What the successful experiences that we can share with our audience and in this Concordia network and family. So, Victor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And obrigada. And see you in a couple of years.
Yes.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.